welcome to the 2023 Spring Book Buzz with the Bookies. I'm Andrea Larson, and this is my colleague Erica O'Rourke, who is wearing a very cool literary scarf today.
Thank you. It is actually the proposal scene from Pride and Prejudice, the second one, the successful one. And I actually used to reread Pride and Prejudice over every spring break when I was in college and when I was an English teacher.
That is so cool.
It seems very fitting. Spring, we don't generally think of spring as new book time. Like everybody thinks about, oh, big summer reading and oh, cozy winter reads. We don't generally go, it's the spring reading season because we're all out at sporting events and gardening and things like that. But publishers do think about the spring reading season. And the more I considered it, the more it actually seemed fitting to me. Spring is a time for fresh starts, for growth and trying new things. And I think this crop of books, this spring season, is the perfect time to do exactly that. Try a new author, try a new genre, stretch yourself and grow a little in your reading life. So we're delighted to bring these titles to you today, and we hope that you enjoy them. Hi, I'm Erica O'Rourke. I'm a reader's advisor here at Cook Library. I run the Agatha Mystery Book Club, and I co-moderate the Shelf Talkers Roundtable. Here are two fun facts about me. One, I have never, despite living in the Midwest my entire life, been to a Wisconsin supper club. Two, I've never read a book by J. Ryan Stradel, author of Kitchens of the Great Midwest and The Lager Queen of Minnesota. He is beloved by library staff and patrons, and yet I've never read any of his books. However, this April, I'm hoping to rectify both of those situations with his new book, Saturday Night at the Lakeside Supper Club. The story follows Mariel Prager and her husband Ned, who are each heirs to their family's very different restaurants. Mariel runs the Lakeside, a quirky supper club that is also on the verge of bankruptcy, and Ned's family owns a chain of successful restaurants that put restaurants like the Lakeside out of business. Just when you think these two things are on a collision course, tragedy strikes, and it turns out that the Lakeside may be the only hope for this family to heal and find a path forward. This promises to be a story filled with characters who feel real, flawed and lovable in equal measure as they navigate the complications of life and find the connections that will help them make meaning of it all. I'm assuming that there will be plenty of food writing to offset the sad bits. So if you are a fan of stories about strong women, complicated families, or brandy old fashions, this one might be worth checking out. Another story I'm looking forward to this April is In the Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune. He's known for taking wildly inventive premises and transforming them into really compelling, heartfelt stories. This time around, he's reimagining Pinocchio, but in this book, Victor, the real boy, is a human, and Geo, his inventor father, is an android. The pair live with the rest of their misfit robot family in this hidden grove on the far edges of society. But when Vic rescues a strange, angry robot and brings him into their safe and secret little forest, it puts the entire family in danger. Geo's taken away to be reprogrammed into a hunter of humans, and Vic has to set out on a dangerous trek to the city to rescue him, and in the process, truly learn what it means to be human and to love. T.J. Klune has a gift for writing found family stories that are funny, charming, wise, and bittersweet, and this looks to be more of that. If you like books that have a touch of magic and whimsy and are also deeply emotional, I think In the Lives of Puppets is going to be the perfect fit.
Hello, my name's Mark, and I'm a librarian, and I manage the young adult collection at both locations. One young adult title that I'm very excited for this spring is Angeline Boulley's follow-up to the Prince Award-winning and best-selling novel, Firekeeper's Daughter. Warrior Girl Unearthed, scheduled to be released May 2nd, takes us back to the setting of the first novel, Sugar Island, Michigan. The story follows Perry Firekeeper Birch, a chill, laid-back teen, and who is a relative of Donis, the previous book's protagonist. Perry doesn't have big aspirations for the summer. Being one of Sugar Island's best fishers, she's looking forward to a summer of chill. But when she accidentally wrecks the Jeep she shares with her twin sister, Perry is forced to take one of the island's last remaining paid internships that's being offered by her tribal museum, so that she can pay back her auntie Donis for the repairs. The internship makes her discover that many indigenous women have been going missing, and artifacts are being unjustly taken from her tribe. Perry and her friends, a group that calls themselves Team Misfit Toys, decide to take matters into their own hands and stumble into a layered mystery full of old rivalries, attempted heists, and family secrets. I love reading books about indigenous culture, and I like indigenous characters. The Firekeeper's Daughter was one of my favorite books of 2021. I can't wait to encounter another thrilling adventure on Sugar Island. I hope you will visit too, because sometimes the truth shouldn't stay buried.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Barber Petticourt, and I am the Digital Services Librarian for the Cook Memorial Public Library District. I enjoy well-written and multi-layered horror, so I just had to talk about Lone Women by Victor Laval, out on March 28th. This much-anticipated title by the award-winning Laval is an excellent addition to the historical horror genre. Lone Women is a compelling read that follows 31-year-old Adelaide, who leaves her parents' farm after their death in 1915 California to start a new life on a homestead in Montana. She is taking the government up on their offer of free land to those who can make their property useful. Though an offer like this would be unthinkable for a single black woman at the time, a loophole in the language allows Adelaide to follow through on her plan. She brings with her only her overnight bag and a locked trunk bearing her family's secret. There's a looming sense of unease as Adelaide tries to settle in and get to know her neighbors and the nearby community while also hiding this secret. The threats that must be faced are both supernatural and real, and Laval expertly weaves the two together. The juxtaposition of these dangers with tender moments of female friendship and family makes for an excellent story that I had trouble putting down.
Hello, I'm Karen Varga, and I'm in charge of Cook's large print and inspirational collections. Burnham Wood by Eleanor Catton is a tragic eco-thriller coming to the shelves this March. Set in New Zealand, this novel follows a collective of eco-activists led by Mira Bunting. Bunting uses aliases to scout for hidden tracts of land where her group plants crops without asking the permission of the owners. The main conflict of the novel starts when she's caught exploring a farm which has been isolated from the community by a landslide. The farm has recently been acquired by an American billionaire named Robert Lemoyne, who is trying to cover up a mining operation. This novel, full of vivid characters, has received many positive reviews. Booklist calls it tightly wound and psychologically thrilling. I would recommend this book for fans of Richard Powers' Overstory or Barbara Kingsolver's Flight Behavior. Fans have been waiting 14 years for a new book by the best-selling author of Cutting for Stone, Abraham Verghese. Now they can rejoice. The Covenant of Water will be released this May. This novel is set in the lush, exotic southern Malabar coast of India, where Verghese used to visit his grandparents. It follows the Peremble family through 3 generations, starting in 1900 with the arranged marriage of 12-year-old Mariama to a man 40 years her senior. The Peremble family is afflicted with a terrible condition. Within every generation, at least one family member dies from drowning. Told with striking, rich prose, Verghese weaves history, culture, religion, and medical science together, creating a tale of tragedy, joy, courage, and devotion, with distinct sympathetic characters that the reader will want to continue reading about even after 700 pages. I would recommend this book for fans of Barbara Kingsolver or Khaled Hosseini.
Hi, my name is Andrea Larson, and I am the Popular Services Manager at the library. My first book for you today is The Golden Spoon by Jessa Maxwell. It comes out in April. I just had to choose this book because it's billed as a cross between Only Murders in the Building and The Great British Bake Off, two shows which I love. Set in an isolated mansion, 6 contestants on a baking show are all suspects when someone ends up dead in the backyard tent where the filming takes place. The book starts off with a bang when one of the show's hosts, Betsy Martin, discovers the body. Then the plot goes back in time a few days, watching the show unfold through the eyes of the characters right up until the murder takes place. This is what I'd call a cozy mystery that leans a little bit gothic. There's definitely some creepy old house atmosphere going on, but it's not really scary. And trust me, I don't do scary. The characters are interesting and well developed, if not always super likable. I also love the behind the scenes take on a baking show from the contestants' point of view. This is a fast-paced, entertaining mystery, perfect if, like me, you're a fan of the Great British Baking Show. My second book for you is called Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling, and it also comes out in April. Now, I chose this book because I really like climate fiction, even though it can be somewhat disheartening. This is a dystopian book set in the near future after climate change has devastated our country. It takes place in a mysterious camp in the far north of Canada, where a group of Americans is trying to survive. The 2 main characters, Rose and Grant, move to the camp, and as we hear their stories, we realize that both of them are keeping secrets. Plus, there is a group of female researchers at a nearby station left over from the Cold War who are trying to unravel the mysteries of what might have happened there in the past. This is billed as a fast-paced eco-thriller that feels scarily realistic. Sterling explores the intersection between gender, class, and migration, while at the same time creating a well-researched climate apocalypse scenario. If you liked Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, give Camp Zero a try.
Hi, my name is Becky King, and I manage all of the audiovisual collections at the library, including both fiction and nonfiction audiobooks. I read all genres, but I especially love great coming-of-age dramas and crime thrillers. And the book I'll be talking about today, which is Our Best Intentions by Vibhuti Jain, is a great combination of both of these. The story's focus is on Indian American high school sophomore and star swimmer Angie Singh, who gets caught up in a criminal investigation when she stumbles across a classmate who's been stabbed while Angie is on her way home from practice one day. The victim of the stabbing just happens to be Henry McCleary, the older brother of Angie's best friend and the boy on whom Angie has had a crush for quite some time. Angie isn't sure exactly what she saw the day of the stabbing or who she saw running from the scene, but she soon finds herself under enormous pressure from both Henry and Henry's wealthy family to tell the right story to the police, especially once another classmate, a young black girl, becomes the prime suspect in the stabbing. I really enjoyed the book because it hits all the right notes as a family drama, but also has the really quick pacing of a good suspense novel. It examines things like class differences in affluent suburbia, racial prejudices, the struggle kids face today just trying to fit in, kids trying to tell the difference between right and wrong, and the extent to which parents will go to protect their children. If you loved books like Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng and Resurrecting Amelia by Kimberly McCreight, this book will definitely be right up your alley. Our Best Intentions will hit library shelves on March 14th.
Greetings, fellow readers. I'm Jo Hansen, and I order the adult and young adult ebook fiction. I have a few favorite authors who don't publish that often, which makes the waiting hard. I am so excited that 2 of these authors have novels coming out this spring. Jeanette Walls is famous for her memoir of her childhood, The Glass Castle, and her biographical novel about her grandmother, Half Broke Horses. Walls' last novel, The Silver Star, was published 10 years ago. But now the wait is almost over. Her new novel, Hang the Moon, comes out March 28. Hang the Moon features a feisty heroine, bootlegging, and feuding families in Virginia during the 1920s Prohibition. Duke Kincaid owns a lot of the town's businesses, including a lucrative bootlegging operation. When he dies, he leaves everything to his 13-year-old son, who is in over his head. The boy's half-sister, Sally, is more than up for the task of taking over her father's empire, even though she's only 18. Soon she earns the name Queen of the Kincaid Rum Runners, while feuding with her own family and a rival bootlegger. This novel will appeal to historical fiction fans who enjoy fierce, strong female characters. With 3-starred reviews so far, Hang the Moon is getting a lot of buzz, and it is one novel you won't want to miss. The second book I want to tell you about is Goodnight, Irene by Luis Alberto Urrea, which comes out May 30th. Urrea's last book was the incredible House of Broken Angels, which was published 5 years ago. Goodnight, Irene is inspired by his mother, who served in the Red Cross during World War II. His fictional heroine, Irene Woodward, decides in 1943 to leave an abusive fiancé and enlist in the Red Cross. She is sent to Europe and soon becomes best friends with another enlistee, Dorothea Dunford. After D-Day, Irene and Dorothea are sent into service in danger, from the Battle of the Bulge to the liberation of Buchenwald. During all the turmoil, Irene falls in love with a fighter pilot. Will the 3 of them survive the war and find happiness? If you like historical fiction and stories about strong female friendship, make sure to check out Goodnight, Irene, which is getting high praise from authors Kristen Hanna, Jamie Ford, and Christina Baker Klein. Happy reading!